Greetings to you, lovely students. I welcome you to today's class. Today's class I'll be taking the topic Introduction to Plant Nutrition, and it will be the beginning of our series of lessons on plant nutrients and nutrient cycle. We'll be looking at series of subtopic which will be ranging from plant nutrient elements. We'll also look at deficiency symptoms of different elements in crops. We'll also be looking at the nutrient cycle, the how to illustrate nutrient cycles using diagrams, methods of replenishing lost nutrients, and so many others. We'll also be looking at the factors that affect nutrient availability in the soil as we commence the lesson today. So in the next 3 to 4 lessons, we'll be looking at plant nutrient and nutrient cycle. But for today, we'll be looking at definition of plant nutrition, types of plant nutrients, factors influencing nutrients, methods of replenishing lost nutrients in the soil, functions and deficiency symptoms of plant nutrients. We'll be looking at types of plant nutrients. Now, definition of plant nutrients. Plant nutrition is the study of chemical elements and compounds necessary for plant growth and reproduction. Plants require nutrients or elements obtained from the soil for good growth and healthy development. This nutrients is essential for plant metabolism and reproduction and also plant growth. The nutrients are usually found either in the soil or in the atmosphere. The major ones found in the atmosphere, we have the carbon, we have the hydrogen, we have the oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen are always in form of water, while the carbon is usually in form of carbon dioxide. Now, again, in the absence of these elements, plant is unable to synthesize their basic needs. Now, types of plant nutrients, we have the macronutrients and also the micronutrients. The macronutrients are usually mineral elements or nutrients required by crops in large quantities. They usually required in large quantities, and examples of plant macronutrients are nitrogen, we have phosphorus, we have potassium, as you can see in the picture, we have calcium, we have magnesium, we have sulfur. There are also other macronutrients, like I said earlier, calcium, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which are usually absorbed from the atmosphere, either in the form of air or in form of water vapor. Now, macronutrients like the nitrogen, it aids plants' growth and reproduction because it is essential constituent of all protein. Nitrogen is also necessary for synthesis of plant hormones and enzymes, but the deficiency of nitrogen will cause stunted growth in plants. It will also cause yellowing of leaves, chlorosis. It will also cause leaves to drop, and then there will be poor formation of fruits and flowers. Then phosphorus, as the case may be, it aids. One of the functions of phosphorus is that it aids enzyme reactions. Phosphorus also aids seed germination. Phosphorus aids fruit formation and maturity. But a deficiency of phosphorus will lead to immature fruit to drop. Deficiency of phosphorus will also lead to poor root development. Deficiency of phosphorus will also lead to logging in cereal crops. When phosphorus is not also adequate, it will lead to stunted growth. Potassium, on the other hand, is an important constituent of plant tissues. Potassium is needed, functions in the synthesis of carbohydrate. Potassium is also associated with stomatal movement and therefore influences water relationship within the plant. Potassium is a major constituent of plant tissue, hence it helps in nitrate uptake from the soil. So potassium and nitrogen work hand in hand. But a deficiency symptoms of potassium will lead to weak, slender stems, delayed growth, premature loss of leaves. It will also lead to brown color at the margin of leaves. In this video, I'll be showing you the pictures of some of this deficiency. Now, calcium The function of calcium is that it strengthens the plant cell walls. Calcium is also it also helps in high flocculation, that is for good aeration, water infiltration, and retention. Calcium is also useful in the improvement of the pH of the soil, so that nitrogen fixation can be carried out. Calcium also it helps in the translocation and storage of carbohydrates and proteins into seeds and tubers. Now, as you can see here, like I was saying before, this is the deficiency symptom of nitrogen in plant. You can see the leaf is yellowish, that is chlorosis. Phosphorus, on the other hand, there is a purple coloration on the edges of the leaves. Like I said, the leaves turn purple. Then again, in potassium, the leaves also turn yellow, more like that of nitrogen, but in this case there's premature loss of leaves. This is also a picture to show the chlorosis in magnesium, that is the chlorosis along the leaf veins. Then in magnesium we also have stunted growth of the crop. Then this is also deficiency symptoms of calcium. That is there is appearance of pale yellow color in the leaves. Sulfur, on the other hand, is also a constituent of plant proteins. It functions in the formation of hormones in the plants. Now, micronutrients. Micronutrients are amino elements or nutrients that are required by crops in small quantities. Now, micronutrients needed by plants are about 11 in number, and then this includes zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum, iron, chlorine, manganese, nickel, and the rest. Now, micronutrients are the fact that they are needed in small quantities does not mean that the plant does not need them. It's just that the plant needs them in small quantities, and they are also essential for the survival of the plant. Now, a deficiency of iron, which is a micronutrient, is that it causes chlorotic conditions in the leaves and makes the leaves to become pale green. Now, iron functions for the chlorophyll formation. Iron is also necessary for protein synthesis. Iron is also important in enzyme system. Now, manganese, on the other hand, is a constituent of enzymes which is responsible for protein synthesis. Manganese is important for certain nitrogen transformation in plants and microorganisms. That is, without manganese, some microorganisms may not be able to survive. Now, a deficiency symptom of manganese is that the young leaves show pale greenish yellow discoloration between the veins. Copper, on the other hand, as a function, is that it's a constituent of certain enzymes. It is necessary for photosynthesis. Copper is also involved in respiration and utilization of iron. So copper and iron, they have a relationship that they play. Now, a deficiency of copper will lead to pale green color of leaves. The tips of the older leaves will dry off and die. There will also be dieback among the young leaves of copper, of young leaves that are affected by copper. Now, zinc, on the other hand, it is involved in the action of certain enzymes. Now, a deficiency of zinc in plants will cause production of mottled or extremely small leaves. The leaves become small. In plants that are supposed to have large leaves, the leaves will become small, and this will eventually affect photosynthesis in such plant. And when photosynthesis is affected, it will lead to production of either starch or oil. Now, you can see here, this is the deficiency symptom of iron, like I was saying before, chlorotic conditions in the leaves. Then this is the deficiency symptom of manganese. Manganese as a micro element for plants. There will be discoloration between the veins. Now, this is boron. Boron, the one of the deficiency symptoms of boron is that It decreases the rate of water absorption and translocation of sugar. Molybdenum is also one of the micronutrients or microelements that are required by plants, and this is the deficiency symptom of the plant. Now, this is copper deficiency symptom. That is, when you notice this on plants, you know that one of the elements, which is called copper, is missing in the soil where that plant is being grown. And this is zinc, the deficiency symptom of zinc. A plant that has little or no zinc or inadequate zinc will have mottled or extremely small leaves. And this is a deficiency symptom of chlorine. And molybdenum, on the other hand, molybdenum, it aids nitrogen fixation and nitrogen fixation, acids and proteins. Molybdenum is also essential part of enzymatic system involved in facilitating nitrogen change breakdown of leaf edges. Now, a deficiency of molybdenum will cause premature flower drops. The flower begin to drop prematurely, which will not bring up fruiting. It will prevent fruiting. Another deficiency of molybdenum is that it leads to culling of leaves. The field of plant nutrition is essential. It's essential that if farmers and agricultural science students knows about plant nutrition in order to have bumper harvest at the end of the day, because the food that the plants require is usually in the soil, and it's usually from the nutrients that is found in the soil. Just like humans, when they take in food, they get the nutrient that they require to survive from the food they eat. Now, the same thing, the food that the plant needs to survive is usually in the soil. So it is essential that every agricultural science student knows about the field of plant nutrition. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in my next class. Do not forget to do your quizzes and also your assignment. Do have a wonderful time. Bye.